At this time, I will call to order the Stillwater Economic Development Authority meeting for June 17th, 2024. Trustees, action on the consent docket.
I'd like to pull item 2B.
2B. Trustees, action on the consent docket minus item 2B.
Motion to approve consent docket minus 2B.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, the consent docket minus item B is approved. Trustee Clark.
Yes, on item 2B, this is the city's CEDA's contract with the Chamber of Commerce for Economic Development. And there are a number of, there's a list of metrics in this report that's part of what we're approving today. And a lot of the metrics are not really metrics. They're strategic objectives. There's nothing to measure in some of these. And so I would like to move that we approve the contract and the metrics with giving direction to staff to sort of clean this up and identify what's a metric and what's a strategic objective.
Okay, can you, I'm just looking at it now. There's certainly some here that are numbers, and are there ones specifically that you want to?
Well, for example, the Chamber will take the lead in collaborating with Visit Stillwater and Payne County Economic Development to invest in a technology tool called Placer. What are we going to measure there? They did it, they didn't do it. So I'm asking staff work with the Chamber, and I've already talked to Elaine, and she knows that I was going to do this, and she's fine with it, that we clean this up and just let staff move on with it.
So do you want these to list some specific
Either
checkbox or something that you can say this happened or it didn't happen?
some of these are objectives and some of these are metrics. And I would like to see the objectives identified as such and not call them metrics because there's nothing to measure.
Okay. The staff, I think, Brady, are you taking the lead on that?
We need to bring it back.
So I'm just thinking about this. If all we're going to do is, if it's listed and it can't be measured and you just want the language that says metric to be revised to say a performance objective or a deliverable,
Yes.
If that's all we're doing, you could move to approve directing staff to make those changes.
Which is the motion I made.
Okay, that makes sense. Trustees?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 2B with the requested revisions. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that item is approved as moved. All right, that takes us to item 5, general orders. 5A is consider the application of Iron Monk Brewing Company for TIF number 3, Small Business Enhancement Assistance, the amount of $15,000 for improvements that Brady Moore is going to tell us about.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Trustees. Tonight, I'm here to talk to you about the Iron Monk Brewing application under TIF 3 for the Small Business Enhancement Assistance at 519 South Husband Street. The total project cost identified in the application is $30,773.82. And so the total amount being requested again is that $15,000 max. Because of the program details, it is 50% up to $15,000 of total project expenses. Trenton and Jared could not be here tonight to present about the project, so I'll share some of the things that they shared at the TIF Implementation Policy Committee when they met with them last Monday, June 10th. They talked a little bit about the project as included in the packet. They have a rendering showing a lot of improvements to the west side facade of the facility. One of the things that they shared was that they wanted to identify the building as more of a retail establishment to increase retail sales. And when others, they stated, have identified the facility as more of like a manufacturing, even though they do all the manufacturing for their beer inside the facility, they wanted to highlight the tap room and the retail opportunities that they have. They included in the plan is, or in the details of that $30,000 scope, is the design work, the lighting, electrical, the signage, the labor to install the sign, garage door, and the more labor to and do some of the installation, as well as some stucco and paint. One of the project also includes a very expensive but kind of surrounding metal porch canopy area that's not attached to the building. Trenton shared with the committee that this will be similar to Hatch, kind of an outdoor seating space to have more retail customers outside, and have kind of a shade structure that they can sit under. So that is going to be another great improvement that's coming. It's not in the scope, but it's it adds to the overall project. Details on the committee, they voted 5-0 to approve the project, to bring it to you all this evening. That also brings the balance. The current budget is something I shared with the committee. The current budget in that bucket of the small business enhancements of the TIF 3 project plan is $34,000. So there's plenty of funds to approve this. Do you have any questions?
Trustees, any questions?
May not be part of this, but the metal work they're going to put around there, is it going to require permitting or anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and they're aware of that. We've gone over that, and I took them up to community development to go and get all the forms they needed.
Okay.
It'll require an EARL or a right-of-way agreement.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think it's really exciting. I think this is right in line with what we generally talk about when we talk about wanting to be able to help businesses enhance the exterior look and feel of their facilities so that they can continue to improve, like you said, the retail aspect of this business, and it does have kind of a nondescript feel to it now. I think a lot of folks, if you don't know that there's a retail establishment there, you probably wouldn't guess. And so I think it's a good enhancement to the area, and something that'll be exciting for people to see.
Agreed.
What's your recommendation for us, Brady?
I recommend to approve the application for small business enhancement from Iron Monk Brewing Company in the amount of $15,000 for improvements to new signage, new exterior light, and new paint.
Trustees?
Motion to accept staff recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this item. Please vote. That's approved with a vote of 4-0. Thank you, Brady. Item 6, Resolution CETA 2024-2, a resolution of the Stillwater Economic Development Authority adopting an operating budget for the fiscal year 2024-25. Trustees?
I move adoption of resolution CETA 2024-2.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, that resolution is adopted. And with that resolution, all of our budget resolutions are now adopted for the next fiscal year.
Look at her smile.
You get a couple months off, and then you get to start the whole thing again. I'm sorry? One more resolution? We did it.
We did it.
We did it. Quick, in the middle. Item 8, reports from officers and boards. Ms. Carnley.
A request for an executive session as authorized under 25 OS Section 307C11 for purposes of conferring on matters pertaining to economic development, including the transfer of property, financing, or the creation of a proposal to entice a business to remain or to locate within the jurisdiction if public disclosure of the matter discussed would interfere with the development of products or services, or if public disclosure would violate the confidentiality of the business.
Thank you. Anyone else have reports? I will just take a second and thank Elaine Zanotti for being here on her birthday. Thanks for coming out on your birthday.
Happy
Elaine.
birthday, Elaine.
Happy birthday.
With no further reports from the officers of the board, is there a motion to enter executive session for the reasons stated by the city attorney?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to enter executive session. Please vote. With a vote of 4-0, we'll now enter executive session. All right, trustees, is there a motion to return to regular session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Chair Joyce,
Yes?
Trustee Hawkins,
Yes.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
Trustee Harden,
Yes.
4-0.
We're back in regular session as Stillwater Economic Development Authority. Was there any recommended action from the executive session?
No action.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. CETA, please call the roll.
Chair Joyce,
Yes?
Trustee Hawkins,
Yes.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
Trustee Harden.
Yes.
With a vote of 4-0, Stillwater Economic Development Authority is now adjourned, and that concludes our meetings for this evening.